There is an unspoken truth about women that men feel long before they ever understand it. It happens in moments of silence, when she looks at you a little too long, when she smiles at something she won't explain, when she distances herself without warning, when she becomes soft for reasons she denies, when she becomes cold for reasons you can't see. Her words never fully match her emotions. Her emotions never fully match her actions. Her actions never fully match the truth living behind her eyes. It isn't deceit. It isn't cruelty. It isn't malice. It is shadow psychology. Parts of her that evolved in secrecy. Parts of her she feels but cannot articulate. Parts of her she hides even from herself. A woman may desire you deeply, yet pretend not to care. She may want commitment, yet speak in riddles. She may crave attention, yet claim she's independent. She may feel threatened, yet hide it behind a smile. She may lose interest, yet struggle to detach. She may manipulate, yet sincerely believe she's being honest. Every man at some point senses this paradox. You're hearing one version of her, but feeling another. And that tension, the gap between her spoken intentions and her unspoken motives, is where the entire story of female psychology lives. Why does she hide what she wants? Why does she filter her desire through tests, silence, ambiguity, and emotional contrast? Why can't she simply say the truth? The answer goes deeper than personality or culture. It lives in the architecture of her mind, a structure shaped by ancient danger, social pressure, emotional survival, and the shadow feminine that Jung believed every woman carries. To understand a woman, you must understand the part of her that hides. To understand her shadow, you must understand why it exists. And to understand why she never admits her real intentions, you must step into the oldest psychological dance between man and woman. This video begins in the quiet room of her unconscious, the place she keeps her real motives, her real fears, her real desires. Place she rarely visits herself. The evolutionary route, why her ancestors learned to hide. Picture the world before safety, before laws, before choices. Thousands of years ago, a woman's survival depended almost entirely on the man she chose. Her health, her children's survival, her place in the tribe, her reputation, her access to food, protection, and support, all of it rested on one ancient decision, whom she gives her heart and body to. In such a brutal world, revealing intentions too early was dangerous. If she admitted desire directly, she surrendered power. If she showed vulnerability openly, she risked abandonment. If she chose too quickly, she risked choosing wrong. If she expressed emotions without caution, she could be manipulated. So women developed a psychological armor, the art of hidden intention. This wasn't manipulation. It was survival. Her ancestors observed. They evaluated, they tested, they watched how a man behaved under pressure, jealousy, uncertainty, rejection, chaos, and even boredom. Only after seeing his true character would she reveal hers. This ancient instinct still exists in the modern woman. She doesn't hide because modern life forces her to. She hides because ancient life trained her to, even today. She won't say she wants you. She waits to see if you want her consistently. She won't say she's falling for you. She waits to see if you break. Under pressure, she won't say she needs reassurance. She waits to see if you offer it naturally. She won't say she's jealous. She waits to see if you notice her emotional shift. She won't say she's losing interest. She waits to see if you change behavior. Men mistake this for confusion, but it is calculation. Her biology learned that clarity before security leads to danger. Her instincts learned that vulnerability should always be delayed. Her emotions learned that men reveal themselves in their reactions, not in their promises. So she hides, not to deceive but to survive. The social mask, how society trains women to hide intentions even beyond biology. There is a second force shaping women, society's judgment. A man can express desire openly and earn respect for it. A woman expresses desire and risks ridicule, gossip, shame, or being seen as too available, too emotional, or lacking standards. From childhood onward, women are taught subtle rules. Don't be too direct. Don't look too eager. Don't reveal too much interest. Don't show jealousy. Don't confess first. Don't ask for attention directly. Don't seem like you care too much. Don't be dramatic. Don't be clingy. Don't be weak. These societal commandments shape her behavior. She likes you but pretends she doesn't. She's hurt but acts unbothered. She wants commitment but says whatever happens, happens. She wants more time with you but calls herself low maintenance. She wants love but demands nothing. It's not dishonesty, it's conditioning. Society shapes her into two selves. The surface woman, polite, rational, calm, emotionally controlled. The shadow woman, passionate, jealous, vulnerable, hungry for attention, terrified of rejection, craving connection, craving certainty. She's not allowed to show the second self, so she becomes fluent in emotional disguise. She will say, "I'm not looking for anything serious," when she's actually terrified you will leave. She will say, "I don't care if you talk to other women." While her shadow burns, she will say, "I'm fine." When she feels threatened, insecure, or betrayed, her shadow intentions are constantly filtered by social expectations. Men complain that women are indirect, but society itself shaped them to be indirect. And the deeper the social pressure, the deeper her shadow becomes. The personal shadow, what she hides even from herself. Carl Jung taught that every human has a shadow, a place where rejected desires are stored. For women, this shadow becomes especially powerful because society punishes them for expressing natural impulses. Inside her shadow, she hides emotions that clash with her self-image. She wants to feel desired, but society calls it vanity. She wants emotional power, but society calls it manipulation. She wants to be adored, but society calls it neediness. She wants a man who leads, but society calls it weakness. She wants attention, but society calls it insecurity. She wants loyalty, but society calls it attachment. She wants to test you, but society calls it immaturity. So she divides herself. One part, the conscious woman, believes she is honest, moral, reasonable, and emotional stable. The other part, the shadow, contains jealousy she denies, desire she suppresses, fear she won't admit, a need she hides, anger she softens, love she cannot express, pain she pretends she doesn't feel, longing she masks with independence, insecurity she hides behind distance, passion she buries under politeness. These hidden elements guide her behavior without her realizing it. She may say she wants independence, but her shadow wants emotional possession. She may say she's casual, but her shadow wants commitment. She may say she doesn't care, but her shadow is studying every word you say. She may say she's over you, but her shadow can't detach. She may say she's not jealous, but her shadow is shaking. The most powerful part, she genuinely believes she's telling the truth. The shadow isn't a lie. It's a truth she never learned to see. The modern woman is two realities in one body. The reality she admits and the reality she feels. Men who don't understand this feel confused. Men who understand this feel clarity. Men who master this feel control, not over her, but over their own emotional response. The unconscious game of ambiguity. There is a strange phenomenon inside attraction psychology. A woman often understands what she wants after she sees how a man reacts to her ambiguity. Her shadow psychology uses uncertainty as a mirror. She sends mixed signals, not always because she wants to confuse you, but because she wants to see who you become when you are confused. This is the essence of the unconscious game. Ambiguity creates contrast. Contrast reveals character. Example unfolds like this. She gives warmth one day, then distance the next. Her intention is not always to manipulate. Instead, she studies the shifts in your emotional field. She wants to know, do you panic? Do you chase? Do you retreat? Or do you remain steady, unshaken, grounded? Jung would call this testing the masculine axis of stability. A woman's unconscious seeks a man who can remain centered even as her emotions fluctuate. Her ambiguity, even though frustrating, becomes a ritual for evaluating masculine certainty. This is why women rarely state, "I'm testing your emotional strength." Her conscious mind doesn't operate with that phrasing. It simply feels natural for her to behave in ways that expose the truth of a man's emotional maturity. She uses ambiguity as a psychological lantern. The man's reactions illuminate what he hides behind his own mask. And whether he is the type who collapses under emotional pressure or stands firmly in his identity. The philosophical depth is simple yet uncomfortable. A woman's ambiguity forces a man to confront himself, and that confrontation reveals more than honesty ever could. The protective instinct of feminine secrecy. There is an ancestral wound in female psychology, a long echo of danger stretching across centuries. Women learned, generation after generation, that revealing too much made them vulnerable. Historically, men controlled resources, physical power, and social structures. A woman who exposed her intentions risked being used, abandoned, or broken. So the feminine psyche developed something like a shield, secrecy. But secrecy does not mean deception. It means self-preservation. Women learn to selectively reveal parts of their intentions only to men who prove themselves safe, emotionally, physically, and psychologically. This instinct is still active today, hidden beneath modern language and polite behavior. A woman may act uninterested while deeply interested, may act strong while quietly afraid, may act independent while longing to be protected. Example, a woman desires commitment but says nothing. Instead, she watches your consistency, studies how you treat her when you're tired or stressed, observes whether your word means anything. She wants to commit, but she cannot risk committing to the wrong man. Her silence is not manipulation, it is armor. Another example. She pulls away not because she is unsure, but because she is scanning for emotional safety. She wants reassurance without having to beg for it. She wants stability without having to plead her case. She wants to see whether your masculinity is self-driven or dependent on her approval. Analysis. The feminine mind holds secrets not because it seeks power, but because survival once depended on it. Even in modern life, the shadow carries old instincts. Protect your heart, hide your motives, reveal only to the worthy. The emotional truth beneath this is profound. The things a woman hides say more about her fears than her intentions. The shadow desire to maintain emotional leverage. One of the darker layers of female psychology is the desire to maintain emotional leverage. This does not come from cruelty, it comes from instinct. The feminine psyche naturally gravitates toward influence, toward emotional positioning, toward shaping the direction of the connection without appearing to control it. Men often misunderstand this shadow instinct. They interpret it as manipulation or dishonesty. But in shadow psychology, leverage is simply the feminine version of leadership. Men lead through clarity. Women lead through emotional influence. Example, a woman will rarely say, "I want you to chase me," even if the chase activates her attraction psychology. So she hides her desire. She shows interest in fragments, just enough to keep you invested, yet never enough for you to feel certain. This is her way of maintaining emotional polarity. Certainty kills attraction. Ambiguity intensifies it. Another example. A woman who fears losing a man will still avoid revealing how deeply she cares. She thinks, if he knows, he might take me for granted. So she withholds the full truth of her feelings, allowing him to feel her presence but never grasp her entirely. Analysis. In Jungian terms, the feminine shadow thrives on indirect power. It does not dominate through force but through emotional gravity. A woman hides her intentions because mystery magnifies her influence. She understands, often unconsciously, that the unknown is magnetic. When a woman hides the truth from herself, there is a point inside shadow psychology where the truth becomes uncomfortable, even for the woman herself. This is where things become darker, more complex, more honest. A woman doesn't only hide her intentions from men, sometimes she hides them from herself. Human beings are experts at self-deception, but the feminine psyche in particular uses emotional fog as protection. She instinctively blurs the truth when the truth risks destabilizing her identity, her comfort, or her emotional narrative. Jung described this as the shadow contradiction, where a woman's ego fears what her deeper nature desires. Analysis. A woman's intentions often hide behind layers she has never examined. Her psychology is shaped by survival, emotion, instinct, fantasy, trauma, culture, and archetype. To admit her real intention to herself or to a man requires confronting truths she may not be ready to accept. These shadow realities include: she desires control but craves surrender. She wants certainty but chases chaos. She seeks protection but tests strength. She yearns for connection but fears vulnerability. She dreams of devotion but hides her depth. She cannot reveal what her conscious mind cannot see. Emotional takeaway. When a woman hides her intentions from you, it is rarely about you. It is a battle between her instinct and her identity. You are witnessing a war inside her that she cannot articulate. Understanding this gives you calm. It gives you power. It gives you freedom. Not power over her, but power over yourself. Because clarity always begins within. You have now walked through the corridors of female shadow psychology, the instincts of concealment, the strategies of ambiguity, the pull of emotional leverage, and the deep contradictions that shape desire. You understand why women rarely admit their real intentions, Not out of cruelty, not out of manipulation, but because their psychology was sculpted by survival, pressure, social judgment, emotional danger, and ancient instinct. A woman's truth is rarely on her lips. It lives in her patterns. It breathes in her reactions. It reveals itself when you watch without fear, when you listen without chasing, when you stay steady within your own center. The man who sees clearly is not the man who interrogates. He is the man who observes, who understands the shadow without fearing it, who stands calm while the world around him shifts. This is masculine intelligence. This is emotional mastery. This is what separates a lost man from a powerful one. If this video helped you understand the layers beneath female psychology, then watch what's coming next. If you want to understand the tests, pass them and rise above them, you don't want to miss that one. Stay sharp, stay awake, and never fear the shadow. It is the map to truth.